Morning, people. Welcome back to another episode of Red Divided. Myself, Tommy.
You got out of here.
And you got myself, Ham, aka Mike Dean, aka John Moss, aka Martin Atkinson, aka all the dumb, stupid qualified refs that we have in the English Premier League. Absolutely awful. I'm not going to say much this week because all my bridges and everyone on Twitter thinks I have an agenda against referees. I don't. I just honestly believe that the quality and the level of refereeing in the Premier League has been diabolical for years, and it's just getting worse. Even with VAR, it's getting worse. The floor is yours, boys.
Perfect start. Yeah, nah. I don't know what they've been at. And I think for the fact that there's VAR, it just makes everything just look 100 times worse. When you just look back at it, it's just no consistency. VAR, maybe they'll have a lunch break.
Bro, they got to be doing something. I'm telling you, they're having a jolly up. They've got pizza, they've got Heineken, they've got Budweiser, they've got Shisha there. They're doing everything. But referee the game properly.
It's just shocking, man. It's horrendous. And you know what? It's not one hard decision. We're not talking about like hard decisions. These decisions are not even debatable.
Yeah,
they're not even debatable.
Because you know the worst thing, I saw Ham's tweet about the United game because I didn't watch it. I was running the line for ammo at a game at Dartford FC.
Oh shit! Dope.
Yeah. So it's quite nice. But I saw Ham's tweets. I was like, oh shit! I wonder what happened. Watching match of the day, I'm like, what's difficult in any of these decisions? What's difficult?
What's difficult about it?
And you know what's making it? I tweeted like 4 or 5 incidents for 4 or 5 games, and I was getting retweeted and liked by bare people, and everyone's just like, we're all footballing fans, and whether or not I support the club, I don't support Brighton, I don't support United. Who else? Whoever got injustice this week, I don't support. Like Leeds, Willock on one of the Leeds players was definitely a foul for me. Willock on thingy. They're not even going to the VAR to check it. I just want refs to be at a standard, so when my team's playing, I'm not scared that this referee is going to fuck up.
Yeah.
Because there's a standard that needs to be met.
Yeah, it's horrendous, man. Oh, bro. I think what's going to... This season, yes, it's going to be based on margins as it is. We spoke about it at the beginning of the season already that it's going to be quite close. Like what we put for the Premier League winner, it's going to be close. No one's going to run away with it. What we really don't want to do is look back at a decision and say, oh, what if the ref gave a penalty? What if the refs never give this red card, like the Man City one, for example? What if the ref gave the penalty? Like how, bro, that Man City one, how the hell is that not a pen?
Bro,
Carl Walker was walking off the pitch until they said they was checking VAR. Carl Walker
what are we doing here? What are we doing? Yeah. What are we doing?
He didn't even try and get the ball. Like he did not. He did not. He said, let me make it look good. But he didn't even try and get the ball.
If I miss out, if I miss out on my fantasy football win by 5 points or less, if I miss out on fantasy football win by 5 points or less, bro, I'm going to be livid,
they have to. So I'm a massive fan, of Nagelsmann, the now Bayern manager, innit?
Yeah.
And obviously we're all for moving the game forward. That's why we got VAR. That's why we got goal technology. Now, I don't agree with the point that he made that players need to be mic'd up, something like that. I don't agree. However, the refs at Stockley Park, they need to be mic'd up like rugby union. And I need to understand the conversation between the guy at Stockley Park and John Moss that said it's not a red and it's not a pen.
Yeah.
I want to know what conversation they had that allowed John Moss to come to that decision that I'm not giving a red, I'm not giving a pen.
But they reversed it. It's not that it wasn't given. They reversed it.
You're a football guy. Tom's a football guy. We all would have come to the same decision. When we looked at VAR, we would have said, it's a penalty, but it's not a red. Yellow card, take the penalty. Simple.
Yeah, they would have given it the red.
It wasn't hard. Like Tom said earlier, these decisions are not hard. The foul on Vestergaard, the Brighton penalty, it's not hard. Morpay is pulling Vestergaard down. It's not hard.
Bro, it's just I don't know, man. Honestly don't know. Because even the United one, that what's the name? Wan-Bissaka was a pen, bro. That is a pen,
bro. When I looked at
the ref didn't give that Wan-Bissaka one.
They would have given offside for that one though.
But that was violence. That was forget the offside. That was just violence.
That is just nice, bro.
It was unwarranted violence.
Yeah, the coup foul on Ronaldo is a pen. The one I think we were talking about before we come on, the one on Zuma, I initially thought it was a pen. However, looking back on it, Ronnie's already going down anyway. And like Tom said, he shouldn't have. He should have just waited for the contact.
Yeah, that's what changed their mind.
Ronnie's preempting the contact that I'm going to get hit. Let me just go now anyway. But irrespective of that, United should have had a penalty. The Luke Shaw one is 100% in today's game. That's a penalty.
Yeah, 100%. That's a pen. That's
can't even deny it.
You can't deny that. But
no matter who you support, even if you support Shaw himself.
It's not debate. It's not debate.
Yeah, it's just it's rather like it's not hard decisions. That's why it's hard to take, man. And Leicester fans will be fuming. Southampton fans will be fuming. Obviously, Southampton are excited that they took a point.
They could have taken three.
They could have taken three.
Because of course, City at the right time, City was not on their game.
Or they could have lost it in the last minute and been absolutely livid.
Exactly. Imagine they lost it in the last minute. Imagine the Gea didn't save the penalty. What happens then?
Imagine. And the thing with the refs, like Tom said, he made a great point that this season, is one of the best we're going to see in it because in terms of the quality. So it is probably going to go down to the wire. It might even go down to goal difference. I want it to go down to something mad like when United lost it on the last day. Aguero! I want it to go down to something like that, I always love bringing that moment back up because I know it sends you guys to a bad place. I love it. But the point I'm making is, I personally, I can't see for any other fan, I would forgive the refs if it was literally, it's 50-50. Like the decision is that hard that it could go either way. Yeah. I don't mind that. I don't think as fans we would be like,
but you do mind it now.
I'm saying no.
Because you didn't mind it when there wasn't VAR. But now there's VAR. They can watch.
Yeah,
they can
but even there's still situations that you look at on the field, and still think I can see why
I can argue for that. Yeah.
I don't mind those ones. These ones that we saw this weekend. There was nothing about it that was, I can see why he did it. I didn't see nothing.
Bro.
I didn't see nothing.
No.
Look at our one. Imagine if there was no VAR. Aaron Ramsdale has clearly won the ball.
Yeah.
It took the referee 4 or 5 times to look at VAR for him to now come back and say, it's not a penalty. I looked at that once and knew that Ramsdale got the ball. Yeah. What the hell are we looking at it 4 or 5 times for, bro?
Yeah.
It's just shocking, man. Honestly, it's not getting any better. It's just poor.
Bro, this weekend was bad, and I'm happy this weekend happened because it puts a spotlight on them. Someone has to come out this week and explain some of these decisions, bro.
Because there are too many of them.
And they have to mic the referees. They have to mic the referees. The referees have to be mic'd because we can't be that far behind. We can't say football is our best game. We all love football, but then we're not as progressive as other sports like NBA and rugby union and those and tennis.
NFL,
you can challenge and NFL.
Well.
Come on, bro. What is this secret society that they have? I want to know exactly the conversations happening between John Moss and Stockley Park. And every fan in the stadium wants to know that. I don't know if you've been to Old Trafford since VAR's come, but I've been at Emirates when VAR's come. It's horrible. You're just sitting there, man. Don't know what's going on, bro. For like 4 or 5 minutes, I'm just looking at the screen. Decision. No handball. What the hell, bro?
Time to get a drink.
What the hell, bro? Imagine going to a concert. Burna Boy's performing. He just walked off and nobody said nothing. And you now look at, where did this guy go there? Comes back 5 minutes later and just starts singing.
Yeah, no, it's horrible, man. Honestly, I don't want to know what can be done to improve it because we saw the standard of refereeing in the European Championship.
Thank you.
So the problem is only in this country.
It's the officiating.
Maybe we need to start importing some ref.
We got one already. There's a new one. There's the first one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I saw it come through on my phone. First one coming in. I don't know what.
We might have to start doing that because if this guys can't get it right, you can't be the best league in the world, have the best resources available, and have the poorest referees.
I mean, Mike Dean still refs. What are we talking about? Mike Dean is the worst referee I've ever seen in Sunday League, semi-pro, pro. He's the worst ref I've ever seen. He's horrible. He's absolutely diabolical. He still has a job every Saturday. I don't know how. And what they need to do moving forward is Pierluigi Collina needs to come down for wherever he is and please come and coach these refs in this country. Please do a seminar, do a webinar, do Zoom like us that are doing. Do something. Coach these people. He's the greatest ref I've ever seen because he looked like, you see when he made it, he don't need VAR. When he made a decision, the man them, even Gattuso didn't argue with him. When he gave Gattuso a red card, Gattuso said, "Thank you, bye-bye."
Yeah.
Bro, you think Mike Dean can give someone a red card and you're not going to argue it because you know that Mike Dean don't know what he's doing in the first place.
Yeah, man. It's shocking, man. Honestly. But let's just move on to the football because we'll be here all day talking about the ref.
What do you lot think about the decision?
What decision?
Noble coming on, taking the penalty. What do you guys think about it? And what was your thoughts when you saw Noble coming on?
So I didn't watch the game, but I watched because I was playing football, but then I went back home and watched everything. I'm sure I watched everything. I understand it. I honestly do understand it. Obviously, the only thing against it is the fact that he hasn't warmed up. West Ham has missed 3 penalties in 4. And this guy has scored 10 in 10 from his record. He hasn't missed a pen. I understand it. That you got right. I'm not against it. Like you got to try it. And as David Moyes said, he'll be beating himself down for not trying it. So I'm with him with that.
What are you saying, Ade? Well,
so obviously I didn't watch the match, but I came back home and I watched it. And I was talking to Yemi because Yemi was cussing them. He was cussing Noble. He was cussing Moyes. He was cussing all of them. He was just cussing all of them. And I was like, you know what? We're only cussing because he missed it, right? Now, if he had scored it, you'd have said, you wouldn't have said anything. But my view is, I'm not going to cuss him for it, but I don't like it personally. I don't like bringing a cold person off the bench to come and take a penalty. And my thought of this has started since, the Champions League final when United played Chelsea and Anelka came on pretty much towards the end
and he missed
the penalty. So literally, and that's me thinking about it, not even from a United missing penalty, from another team missing penalty against United. It's like, it's not the best thing. You haven't been invested in the game.
We saw it in the Euros, isn't it? The 2 lads he brought on, Rash and Sanch.
Yeah, I've never been a big fan of it, but I'm not going to knock them like he's your penalty taker. Because people will say Noble too should have said no, but you're going to back yourself. You're the penalty taker. You're going to back yourself.
His last season with the Hammers. Yeah, how's he not going to score the equaliser against West
I'm not a fan of it, but I'm not going to knock him.
I'm with Tom because I was in my WhatsApp group like Tom as well. Me and Tom played on Sunday. I scored past Tom, by the way. Sat him on the side. Just put it out. We won again. Tom lost again. Just put it out.
No, wait. Before Ham explain, Ham is a bastard. I got a ticket for Ham because of Ham. I got a bloody ticket
on top
for Ham. So I can see. So where I parked here, I can see the ticket man coming. So I'm like, Ham, hold the ball. I was shouting at him, hold the ball. This boy wouldn't listen.
He's not on my team, Ade. He's not on my team. I'm not holding the ball.
I said, hold the ball.
I didn't see no ticket man.
I can see him coming. I'm trying to shout at the ticket man, bro. The worst thing about it, one, Ham ended up scoring his team ended up scoring anyway. By the time I got to the man, he's already slapped the ticket on the car. And on top of that, I checked the scoreline. I saw Man United was 1-1. I think, what the fuck is going on here? Oh, no, he's a bastard for that.
Well, what I was saying was because of football, obviously, I was missing the United game, innit? Yeah. So I only caught the last 10 because obviously I had the app on my phone. So I was watching it as I was going home. And then the penalty situation happened. And everyone in my WhatsApp group, there's probably about 6 or 7 of us, they were up in arms. Like, how can he do that? But I was just like with Tom, nah, bro. He's a designated penalty taker. Forget the fact that would it have happened in 60 minutes. It was the last kick of the game. So it's a pressure penalty on top of that.
Yeah.
It's his last season. They have a point on the line, yeah. As Tom rightfully put out, they've missed 3. It's not like they're scoring penalties, okay? Like Declan Rice and Antonio are banging them in. And you have someone that's 10 in 10. Now, whether it was David Moyes or the coach, someone on that West Ham bench has told Moyes, or he said it himself, Nobes has got 10 out of 10, and we got a sub to make. Someone would have suggested it to him, or he suggested it and said, should we do this? They rolled the dice in there. Like you said, Ade, if they scored, we're not even having this conversation.
Yeah, not even having
me personally, I think they've done the right thing. Noble is definitely. I haven't seen Noble miss a penalty. I know he has. I think someone said he missed against Tottenham years ago, but I associate Nobles with Mr. Reliable for West Ham.
Yeah.
He puts the penalty away and he's a good passer of the ball. Never got England called up because he's not that great. But he can put a penalty away and he can pass. So I thought it was the right decision. And De Gea hasn't saved a penalty in like 5 years. What are we talking about? David De Gea doesn't save penalties.
Europa final. You can just score.
Bro,
just score.
They scored 11 or 12 out of 12 against this guy.
Please. Yeah, so it's just one of those ones because I said I'm not a fan of it, but I wouldn't knock anyone. I wouldn't knock the player. I wouldn't knock the manager. It is what it is.
Nah, it's just that notion that if a player is cold, I could get that argument.
Yeah, that's the only thing I don't
Yeah.
like, and that's the only thing I don't like.
But the game, though, man, what are you not saying, though? The game, because Tom was stressing out when I was with him. Tom was just like, Ham, does he not want to win the game? Why is Fred and McT still on the bench? It's 1-1.
Bro, I was stressing. I was bugging out because, so obviously, I watched the game. I went home to watch the game for the purpose of the podcast. I know we were gonna break down the game, but I checked what time was it, like 70th minute that we stopped playing football. So I checked. Well, 70 something minute it took us. I saw the 2 subs made. He's taking off Pogba,
Greenwood and Pogs.
Pogba. So in my mind, I'm thinking, do you not want to win the game? Because West Ham's best player is not playing. And then we've got the better team. So why are you not trying to enforce this game? Why don't you want to be the dominant force? Are you not trying? You still got 2 defensive midfielders there. Why are you not trying to win the game? We can't go through the season, keep playing this way. I don't mind us playing like this against the top teams. But what are you afraid of against the others? What are you afraid of? Because with the firepower we got up top, I think I will back us to outscore them. Even if you're afraid that, you know what, they might score a goal. But I will back our team to outscore them.
Because we concede anyway. We concede every match anyway.
God bless you, Ade. And that's my point. It's not as if these 2 pivot that you're using are stopping us from conceding. We're conceding anyway. We've only kept 1 clean sheet all game, and we should have kept a clean sheet in that game against Wolves.
Can I just say that my team has kept 2? Can I just say that? Sorry, continue.
Bro, we haven't kept a clean sheet all season apart from Wolves. So what if even young boys got 2 against us?
Bruh.
So and even that Wolves one was 50-50.
Exactly.
Just
50. No, we stole that.
But we'll get to young boys in a bit. But it's
we don't talk about young boys. Young men, grown men, you mean? Put some respect on their name.
I was already pissed off in it. I was livid, totally livid, thinking you're not trying to win a game. Obviously, Jesse is now gonna score at the end. We won a game, all great, but it goes back to our season. It's just relying on individual brilliance again. So what he's done now this season is obviously we've got depth now, so we've got more brilliance, more great players. So it's if these individuals are not doing it, I've got more quality off the bench that can possibly go and win the game for me. Whereas he's not actually trying to work on the pattern of play.
Maybe they don't need that.
Bro, and this is my point. I just do not see us winning a league with how we're playing. I just don't see it.
Fair.
I'm not convinced. If you watch all the games we played this season, I haven't been convinced. I've watched Chelsea and I'm thinking, who the hell is going to beat this team?
Liverpool have been good this season,
And exactly, even Liverpool's been really brilliant this season.
Good,
you watch those teams team and you think we've got
Man City is going to reach their levels. They're slow starters.
And the thing with Man City is you just
and they can go 20. They can go 20 unbeaten. They can go 20 unbeaten.
They can go when they want. So it's I watch us time and time again as well. And I said this last season when we was on the run. It's we rely. Last season was more Bruno. I think it was a period we just relied on Bruno and Rashford's goal. We just kept on relying on both of them. But you can't keep relying on individual brilliance. You need to put some sort of play together. You've got quality. What's the excuse now? What excuse can we really give? We've got great players around the pitch. So it's now down to the coaching. So if the coaching is poor, and I've said it, if the top 4 teams, there's not much difference between the top 4 teams. It's going to be down to the coaching. The best coach is going to win the Premier League this season. And he's just proven that. Obviously, we've won. Bear in mind, we're struggling to win this game. But bear in mind the teams that we've played. Bear that in mind too.
Newcastle,
Wolves, Southampton. And we're not exactly clearing them out. We're not even at Newcastle. We didn't exactly. Yes, it's 4-1 on paper, but the the game is not a 4-1 game. So we're not exactly like literally annihilating this team. We're not, bro. So, and this brings me to young boys, yeah. Cool. Young boys.
Grown men.
They're grown
They
men
beat
now.
you. Thank
They're
you. Put
grown
some
men
respect
now.
on their name.
They're grown men now. All right, cool. This man has lost 7 Champions League games in 11. That's horrendous. Let's be serious, bro. 7 Champions League games in 11 Champions League.
I didn't do the math. What's the percentage?
Boy.
That's horrendous. We're not saying it's Drew. He's lost 7.
It's elite competition.
Oh,
it's elite competition.
he has lost 7. Okay, you lost 7. I'm trying to put this game in perspective now because we're going to look at it thinking it's the first game of the Champions League. Let's move on. But it's deeper than that.
No, yes, not move on. Yes, not move on.
It's deep, and people need to understand it's deeper than that. That's 1 point. He's lost 7 games, right? Secondly, right, we've got a red card. I watched Brentford this weekend. They got a red card. Brentford knew what they were doing straight away. They were organised. We watched Chelsea. I didn't want to go as far as Chelsea, but Chelsea played Liverpool. 10 men. They knew what they were doing. This is why I say it's down to the coaching, yeah. Because as soon as we got that red card in the second half, we did not have a clue. We just kept to kick the ball out. So my point is here, even like 9, 10 years old, any club always does a drill 10 against 11. You got to prepare yourself for the worst. You always have 11 players going against 10 to prepare for your team going down 10.
Yeah, that's standard.
That is standard.
I'm sure United do that as well.
It doesn't look like it though, Ham.
Yeah, but I'm sure they do it though.
Oh,
they got to do that at training. They got to do 10
It's easy. Okay, it's
Basic.
easy. These players don't want to listen to him, or there's something wrong. There's something definitely wrong because it doesn't look like that. And on top of that, the substitutions you were bringing on just wasn't making sense. Yes, Jesse Lingard, yeah. So the last substitution is the killer because you have to die by your substitution. Jesse Lingard was up top, yeah, before you brought Martial. 2 minutes left. You might as well just leave it like that. Leave Fred on. Because if you didn't bring up, because you could have brought a ball carrier from get-go, because the issue was having here is that you brought in an extra defender. So we're now playing 5 at the back. Those 5 at the back here should have spread out. But they were so compact they couldn't really kick past the ball to each other.
Shouldn't have went to 5 at the back in the first place.
Well, that's his decision. He went to
Shouldn't have
5
went
at
to
the back.
5 at the back in the first
Even
place.
if you were going to do that, they need an outlet. We didn't have an outlet. We didn't have a ball carrier. We didn't have anyone that can run onto the ball.
The outlet could have been a defender that he brought on.
Bro, he didn't do that. So just the amount of mistakes he's made. And the last 2 minutes, the game, we pretty much got the draw. You now took off Fred for Jesse Lingard for Martial. The issue with that is, I'm not saying if Fred was in that position, he wouldn't have made that mistake. Fred could have made.
Yeah, that's not on the manager.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that.
Jesse's back pass isn't
What
on the manager.
I'm trying to say is, Jesse would not be in that position if he didn't bring on Martial, because Jesse was up top before Martial came on. Jesse was up top. He was staying there before Martial. But Jesse's forced to drop deep. Jesse was forced to drop deep because now you got who was on after. So you now have Matic, Pogba, and Jesse in the middle. Was it Pogba and Jesse in the middle? So Jesse's now forced to, because Jesse, before Martial came on, Jesse was on top. Jesse was our furthest man up top. So it's the decision that he has made that's led. Obviously, yes, Jesse should not be, no excuse for Jesse, but Jesse would not be in that position because these players are lost. The substitutions you were making just didn't make sense. And they really practiced all of this in training, because as if you were just stringing things together and hoping to get through the game.
Inshallah and vibes.
Well, I'll say, look, it's deep into that. And the last point I was going to make is basically, we've just had our easiest runs in the Premier League in terms of games. Champions League, we want to try and get as much points as possible now. So when it comes to like ending of November, December, when we've got tough oppositions like the Man City, Chelsea, you want to have enough points in the Champions League so you don't have to be worrying about both competition. The issue now you have now is physically it's going to take a toll on the players because now they're going to think of Saturday, we've got Man City. Oh, we still need 3 points to qualify to the next round of the Champions League. Why are you trying to make life difficult for these players?
That's why they get paid the big bucks, though, Tom. Though.
No, but I hear what you're
pressure
saying.
Or no pressure.
No, but I hear what you're saying.
That's why they get paid the big bucks.
But you have. That's what I'm saying. This is why I'm saying it's bigger than just a first defeat to Young Boy. It's bigger than that because we can easily like. And he's saying we set. What did he say? We set 10 points. What? We set 10 points. Bro, you should be going in to win every single game.
There's only 15 points available now.
We set a target of 10 points.
He said 10 to 12. He said 10 to 12.
Don't
misquote him.
Is it trying to be? No, bro. No.
And they defend my boy.
Take over.
Defend my boy. Defend Oli. Oli's at the wheel. Defend him.
You know what?
Oli told Rio to shut up.
Yeah. So I think Tom said most of what I wanted to say in all honesty, but I don't think Oli, like maybe I'm being harsh right in this instant because I'm not going through the names one by one, but I'm not sure if he's a top 12 manager in the Premier League.
Ooh.
I'm not sure if he's a top 12
He's unbeaten away run will suggest otherwise.
That's Manchester United.
He's the manager of Manchester United.
Nah,
he's the manager of Manchester United.
That unbeaten thing is very deceiving. You're not saying like we've been winning and we've got nothing to show for that undefeated thing. It's just there. We haven't achieved anything. But I think because one of the things I highlighted when Chelsea drew with Liverpool, I was like, that's solid. It just shows you that when you go down to 10 men, you don't need to lose a game, right? So then we had United. And last week when we recorded, I honestly expected us. So this was my view. We were going to beat West Ham because Antonio was out. But we were going to whoop Young Boys like 9-0, 6-9. That was my view. It was just what it was. Nothing less. So obviously, everything's going well. Then we get a red card.
Deservedly, Wan-Bissaka. Deservedly.
Yeah, which is fine. And I'm like, we'll still win the game. Maybe we even score 3 more. It's fine. And then everything just goes to shit. And it just highlights that the managers, like we keep saying it, we're saying we're not happy with him, but it just highlights why we say we're not happy with him.
Mm-hmm.
And then that game goes. Obviously, you're disappointed. A loss is just horrific. I can't say anything about Lingard. It's just one of those things that happened. So I won't go after him on that. But everything before then, between the red card and us conceding that goal, he could have made some better calls. As you said, why are you going to a back five?
Yeah,
why?
No need.
We are playing young boys. We are not playing Bayern. We're not playing Liverpool. We're not playing Chelsea. That you're going to a back five. We've got players that we've got world-class players on the pitch. You're doing back five. So then that went, and I'm like, I'm disappointed. I think Ole's shit. Cool. I don't think he's a top 10 manager. And then I watched the early kickoff on Saturday, and I'm like, okay, Brentford have gotten a red card, and they've seen this game through without conceding a goal.
And you know what's super important as well, Ade? Their manager, Tony Frank, leaves these 2 strikers up top.
So that's another thing.
Tony and Mbomo up top and says, when Wolves attack us, we got 2 outlets.
And that's why on that day, I was like, actually, that's why I took him out of the top 12. Because before, it was 10. After I watched that game, I took him out of the 12 because I respected both of those managers in that game. Because, as you said, the Brentford manager
he could have easily taken off Ivan Antonio or Mbomo and said, I'm taking one of you off.
And kept them on.
He did.
You see what the Wolves manager did? They must have finished the game with 18 attackers.
Podence, Trinqual, Traore, Fabio Silva, and Jimenez.
And that
all 5 of them.
The other guy as well. Is it
all
Wang?
5 of them.
Wang as well.
Yeah. And
Bro,
6.
Bro, I had to look at it and I was like, I respect you, bro. This team's got a red card. You need to win a game, and you're doing that. I just saw defenders being replaced. He was just attacking, and I'm like, these guys have a plan. Like they've seen something and they've adjusted their game accordingly in a sensible way that fits their team. If you get what I mean. Like Wolves have those type of players those forwards that you can bring in and it won't be too lopsided. And the Brentford manager said, actually, I can play in a way that I don't need to take off one of my strikers. So they've recognized what they have and can still be effective. If Oli can't do that,
he just went from a 5 to a 4-3-2. Simple, 4-3-2.
And the thing is, the young boys' first goal didn't come from a penalty from the red card. So we were still 1-0 up.
Wow.
So to go and concede 2 goals in open play, it is poor. I don't care that we had 10 men. Chelsea win that game. Man City might have even scored 6. Man City might have scored 6 with 10 men. So yeah, I spoke to somebody on Saturday. It's the coaching. We've said it previously. I went out on Saturday and I saw one of my boys I haven't seen for a few years. And I was telling him that obviously I'm not going to knock people that want Ole to stay, but he's still just not the manager for the next level. And he was like, he definitely disagrees with me. And I was like, okay, so why do you disagree with me? He was like, the progress. I said, what's the progress? Where have we progressed to? I understand the feel-good factor and we're enjoying the football we play a bit better, but that doesn't mean there's progress, right? It might be a bit of atmosphere and the fans enjoy watching the football more, but it doesn't mean we've progressed. And he's like, the team that he's building. I'm like, they gave him money to build a team. They've given him money. They didn't give Mourinho more money, but they've given him money. That's why he's able to do it. So what is he actually progressing for us? Like, I don't want to come here and just attack him, but I'm hoping every week it's just becoming more and more obvious to the people that think we're just attacking him.
No, I hear you don't know you. Know.
Yeah, no, I can talk for years, but I'm just tired. I'm tired. But yeah, it's a lot.
No, I hear both of you. I was talking to my United friend the other day, and I was just like, and he's pro Oli, innit? So he's pro Oli. He don't agree because he listened to the podcast. He don't agree with either of you on the Oli points, but that's football, innit? It's opinion,
100%.
And I was just saying that for me, I got 2 points. One of the points is let's praise when he does well, and let's vilify when he does wrong. So the young boys game, I watched the second half and I phoned Tom after. And it's the 45 minutes I saw and all the decisions I saw encompassed everything that you guys have been talking about as to why you don't want him as a manager. Because if you can get 10 things wrong, he ticked all 10 boxes. If you can get 10, he ticked all of them. The going back to a back 5 blew my mind away. It's young boys away. Rafael Varane doesn't need to come on. And if Varane does come on, then take off Lindelof and get an experienced head alongside Maguire. We play 4 at the back. We definitely need an outlet, maybe even 2. So if you take Ronaldo off, Greenwood has to play. And I don't like Martial, but he has to play as well. Or Martial doesn't play and Lingard plays. But there has to be, so Pogba plays because Pogba can progress the ball. And Pogba can find a pass 40 yards away from goal. He doesn't need to run with it. Yeah. But he needs someone to latch onto it, right? But he's taken off Bruno and Ronaldo. So everything that he got everything wrong. And you guys know how I stand with Oli. Pro Oli, baby. Yeah, till we die.
Love us.
Yeah, but that was awful. That was absolutely awful.
Yeah.
So he's got everything wrong there. But then we go to Sunday. He's taken off the players that Tommy mentioned. He's brought on Matic and Lingard. Matic plays a lovely ball to Lingard, and Lingard puts the ball in the back of the net. That's managing. He managed it. He took the players off. The players that he brought on affected the game, and he won the game. So that's why football is the greatest sport for me, because the fine margins are mad. Lingard passes the ball back. He's vilified by some people, racially abused by some people. 3-4 days later, he scores the winner. The manager is the same manager that brought him on against Young Boys and lost the game. It's the same manager that brought him on against West Ham and he scored. It's football. Oli will never be the guy for you guys, but he will be the guy for some people. Me personally, I think I'm going to stick with the point I made time ago when I said he may just be the manager before the manager.
Yeah. Because and that's the thing.
Because there's a lot of shit that I'm seeing from that. Nah, my brother.
Because you know the thing is, because when you say it to people, right, I'm not saying, like, I'm not attacking his life type of thing. And I'm not saying, like, he's been horrific. What I'm just saying is that he's not that manager to take us to the next level. He's good to keep us in top 4 and be getting us to the semis and the finals of the smaller competitions. But if you're talking about you want to win, like, the Premier League, he's not that guy. And it's not... Some managers are just more technical than others. Like, we're talking about Lampard yesterday. it just wasn't for Chelsea. Just wasn't for him, and
He's
mainly because
not ready for that job. Yeah,
you get me. He wasn't ready for it, and you could see from Lampard's play that his defensive coaching lacked. It had it lacked, and ultimately, you're not going to win a Premier League with a bad defense. It's just not going to happen. You're just not. It doesn't work like that. You have to have a solid defense to be able to do that. And in terms of how you play, you look at Klopp. Klopp's way of football has always been the way it is. That midfield is solid, and then you've got the attack.
The midfield's functional. Yeah, it's a functional midfield. And
he's got a solid defense. The centre backs, obviously, when Van Dijk's in there, quality. You've got the attacking fullbacks. You've got Chelsea. Chelsea are just solid, plain. Football, technically, personnel, everything solid. He's making the right decisions, because what happened was that they weren't great in the Champions League, Chelsea, and they've carried that over into the start of the Spurs game. And he's made his changes and all of that stuff.
He hasn't waited.
Man City are just Man City. I still believe ultimately they play the best football. And that's why when it's time to choose who's going to win the league, I tend to go for them apart from this season. But then United, you're like, okay, we've got the players, a couple of gaps, but then where's the management? Where are you seeing the manager stamp his authority on that team? And that's where my issue is.
I'll let Tom go, but I'd love to know what the players actually think of Ollie's coaching. I think the players love Ollie as a guy. I listen to Luke Shaw, and Luke Shaw has nothing but nice words to say about him. I think I've heard Bruno speak about him, but I'd love to know, and it might be after the players' careers because they might not want to dig him out. But I'd love to know what the players think about his coaching and his tactics and what they actually think of it. That's when we get the true insight. Because I know what you two think about it, and I know what I thought about the young boys. It's just not good enough. Yeah. And you can see from Chelsea's manager, you can blatantly see they have a better manager.
Yeah.
Because he's got the same set that Frank had.
Well, then the thing is,
they look like challengers.
Thing is, I know it's slightly different. It's kind of like if just use Gareth Southgate as an example, if you're not a great coach yourself, get someone that can do it, and you can be the manager. Gareth Southgate's got a great coach in was it Steve Bond? He's one of the brains.
Steve Holland, he's number 6.
Yes,
used to be at Chelsea.
Steve Holland, sorry, not Holland. He's one of the brains behind that England team, isn't it? What is clear as daylight with the United team, that the coaching is not right. Look how many times, why does the defense still look like that? So we've been complaining about the personnel for a long while. We've got the personnel with him, but nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. It's like Bruno, for example. Bruno's got the quality to play football. He doesn't have to risk it at all times. If he's got the right coaching, if he was under Pep, he wouldn't be doing that. Exactly. Like I saw Bruno against young boys the other day. We're down to 10 men. He looked up and trying to play out to who? Ronaldo. Ronaldo's not going to catch that.
Yeah.
It's like it's
not
the
not 36-year-old Ronaldo.
See what I'm saying? It's the coaching at the end of the day. These players are good players. They're not apart from Fred, they're not terrible.
13 points from 5 games. You're level with Liverpool at the top.
Yeah.
No, but I know what everyone's gonna refer back to that. What the fact of my is, it's not convincing.
We're just doing enough. We're just about doing enough. And these are not hard teams. And I think, what affects people, right, is the type of fan you are, or how you appreciate football will also affect how you judge someone. So I'm 100%. So with all of our years of playing 7-a-side and thinking of the different types of formation, because most people think, how many formations can you use